Lighthouse is a compostable AI architecture built specifically for retail and e-commerce. It's a unified intelligence layer that plugs directly in your retail and e-commerce SaaS. Product classification, smart bundling, visual search, behavioral segmentation, prescriptive intelligence. All of this can now be part of your SaaS without needing to build it from scratch. And here is what makes it different from an API from a provider, another SaaS platform that you buy a subscription, or a GitHub repo. So Lighthouse is not an API. It's actual IP that you buy once without a subscription with no recurring fees, where you get access to all of the source code, the documentation, and you have complete ownership over everything. That is the short version. I'm Rohan Sawant. I run Ionio. We are an AI consulting company and we work specifically in retail and e-com. And in this video, I just want to walk you through what is Lighthouse, why we built it, how it could cut down months or quarters of your product development cycle, and who is it for, how does it work, and how much does it cost, and how it fits together. That's what we'll learn into in this video. After a point, every AI project that we built in ecom started feeling really similar. It was the same platform, the same product being built on top of the same data pipelines, on top of the same or similar segmentation logic, same recommendation architecture for recommendation systems, same architecture for apps, same architecture for chatbots and assistants, just a different client, a slightly different tech stack, and a different company. And after the third time, we asked ourselves, like, why were we building this from scratch every time? And after the fourth and the fifth, we stopped. We pulled the patterns that kept repeating across our different engagements. The ways we pre-process the data, the way we set up the infrastructure, the way we set up assistants, the way we set up a RAG platform, the way we set up the segmentation logic, the data pipelines. And we split those out as individual components, and then we iterated on all of them. We stress tested them against our existing production implementations. And now, whenever we start a new engagement, instead of starting from scratch, we start off from the Lighthouse. And more importantly, you can do the same. Everyone is building the same AI features in most SaaS companies in any subcategory. Returns platforms are adding fraud detection models. Loyalty platforms are adding personalization systems. Post-purchase platforms are adding customer support assistants. But most teams always start from zero. Let me put the numbers in perspective. Here is how much everything actually costs. Single AI feature, something like a recommendation engine, segmentation engine, or a hyper-personalization engine, an email designer, typically requires 2 to 3 ML engineers, a few backend developers, a data engineer, a product manager, and a lot of time from the CEO and the CTO. All of this over roughly 4 to 6 months of work. And the cumulative cost for something like this can easily be around at least $500,000 to sometimes upwards of $1 million or a few $1,000,000. And this is before the feature even reaches production, before the first iteration. And the output from a system built like this is something that already exists somewhere else. It is just rebuilt worse because the team doesn't have the domain specific expertise on the first version. Lighthouse shortcuts all of that in 6 weeks instead of 6 months, all at a fraction of the cost. And since retail and e-com is the only domain that we are focused on, you get something faster, better, built by a team that actually has real domain expertise. For our clients, the cost of Lighthouse typically works out to be 5 to 10% of the incremental enterprise value that it generates. Now, let me walk you through a few of the components inside Lighthouse, our composable AI architecture. Prescriptive intelligence is one of the flagship components of Lighthouse. It reads every single data point and signal that your platform already collects. For a returns platform, this might be returns data, purchase history, campaign performance. It looks at all those metrics and then it diagnoses what is underperforming. It benchmarks this against your entire tribal knowledge. This would mean your SOPs, the way you do things, and your existing users. And then it comes up with recommendations or what we call prescriptions on actions that need to be taken inside your platform to drive the key KPIs that drive results for your customers. With prescriptive intelligence, your SaaS stops being a dashboard where users have to click around to get things done. It becomes a platform, or it becomes a intelligent AI solution which tells your users what they need to do. Microsegments is our behavioral segmentation engine. This is something that we have been working on for the last 1 year. It goes beyond rule-based segments that most platforms and algorithms create. Most platforms create segments like customers who have bought this in the last 30 days. Instead, microsegments surfaces clusters or microsegments that your marketing team would never find manually. Segments that you can't get to by just clicking a bunch of filters in CloudView. And then after these segments are generated, we auto create personalized campaign messaging, that is emails, SMS, WhatsApp messaging for them with a single click. So this is super useful for retail and e-com platforms in the omni-channel marketing space and any platform which is trying to personalize or hyper-personalize messaging throughout their users. Apart from this, another one of the Lighthouse components is our flagship retail embedding model. This is a model that we have fine-tuned on top of state-of-the-art embedding models specifically for retail. And this is really useful for building applications like similarity search engines, product classifiers, product taxonomy categorization engines, and building AI similarity and AI search systems. So if you need the core similarity model, instead of training it from scratch, you could start off with ours. It's a retail embedding model. Smart bundling takes any product from your product catalog and it generates complementary recommendations and bundles that match against your real inventory. And it assembles revenue optimized, fully personalized bundles at checkout, which helps you increase AOV. Our visual search solution, which is actually built on top of our own embedding model, lets your users upload a photo and find matching products from your inventory across hundreds of thousands of products. This happens without any keywords, without fuzzy search, without any browsing, just image to product search in like milliseconds. And you can have this without needing to build from scratch. These are just a few of a dozen more components in our compostable AI platform, Lighthouse. And we are continuously adding more products and components as they emerge from our engagements. Here is what I believe. You shouldn't have to pay a recurring fee for software that becomes part of your system. Well, I hate subscriptions. Software should be something that you buy once and you own forever. That is the philosophy that Lighthouse was built on top of. We build it into your stack, into your code base, into your infrastructure, into your deployment pipeline. When we are done, you get everything. There is no vendor lock-in. There is no dependency on us to keep the lights on. And because every component is fully compostable and customizable, your platform always runs a unique version of your own code. You're not renting APIs or shared infrastructure from someone else. You are buying code, acquiring it, and deploying it in your code base, exactly like your internal team would have, complete with documentation and support. Lighthouse is built for mid-market e-com and retail SaaS companies. If you are a returns platform, a loyalty platform, a merchandising platform, a PIM system, omni-channel marketing system, logistics platform for e-commerce brands, and you're trying to ship AI features faster than your competitors, it is for you. You don't need to hire an external ML team or in-house engineers. Your current tech team will be able to use all of these components, and you don't need to spend multiple quarters relearning everything that people who have already been in the domain have already figured out. You plug in the components you need, you leave what you don't, and you ship in weeks instead of quarters. That's Lighthouse. It's the compostable AI architecture for next-gen retail, built from components that AI teams kept rebuilding themselves internally over and over, ready for production deployment into your code base. If you want to see which components would create the most value for your product, you can book a call. We'll map out your product roadmap, your data, your tech stack, and your pain points, and show you exactly where and if Lighthouse is a good fit. I'm Rohan Sawant. If you need help with AI in retail, drop me a message.